What's up, everybody? This is Lance. I am the host of the Health and Real Estate Podcast. And today's guest joining me is Nathan Dickey. He is the owner of the KW Portsmouth Market Center in New Hampshire and also was the regional director of the New England territory with KW for 7 years. So, talk about that a little bit. And we're going to talk about how his market center was in the top 8 of profitability of out of over 800 Keller Williams market centers. Then we're going to talk about, his thoughts and takes on kind of the future of real estate. So, with all that being said, Nathan, how'd you get your start in real estate?
I started in real estate. I was an investor first, actually. I bought a house when I was 19 out of high school. I sold some like cars and stuff and ended up having enough cash to buy a house with a buddy of mine. And I was in that for a while. And then I sold that and I bought a multifamily. And both of my realtors weren't great. And then I met a really good one. And I figured if they could do it, I could do it. So I went and got my real estate license, and then I started selling real estate, and it worked out pretty well for me. Um, and then I found Keller Williams sort of at the beginning of when Keller Williams was new. It was Keller Who where I was. No one knew who we were. There weren't any. The nearest franchise was new, and it was an hour north. The next nearest was kind of an hour west, and there was another one. There was one in Massachusetts. It was a couple hours away, and we had just sort of I had come to sort of a fundamental difference with my operating partner of the franchise that I was at. I was going to go work at Remax, and I accidentally someone said you should go look at Keller Williams, and I flew down to Texas. And by today's standards, at that time, I would not have qualified. I don't think for the franchise. So I was Herb Taylor, the regional director, saw something in me, and recommended me to get a franchise. And I went down to FSO and took the training, and they said I was approved. And then I tried to figure it out from there. And it was the best and most humbling experience ever to open a franchise from scratch. And that was 20 plus years ago. And it's been pretty good. And we're consistently in the top 10 or 15, usually throughout the year. And then we usually finish in the top 10 somewhere. So we're, to be in little New Hampshire and be able to do that is pretty cool. And I've got some of the best agents and I think in the world, and I've got some of the best markets. I'm in a really cool market. I've got the ocean. I've got Lake Winnipesaukee, got the White Mountains. I've got some really great area to sell. I tell, a lot of people we sell the best parts of New England out of this office. We're licensed in 4 states, 500 and I think 550 agents today. I think our closest, we have we have a lot of business centers. We're running a hub and spoke model. I've got offices that are really close to Canada, and I'm down to the Mass border, so I'm all over the place. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But I think investing got me here. Training, investing, and teaching investing to the agents keeps us, busy, and that's exciting for me. So
Awesome. I love that story. That's actually how I got into real estate too, was real estate investing. It was my senior year in college. I had one semester left to graduate, and I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was, doing business and marketing degree. And I was like, man, college, they're just teaching me how to be an employee, be a loyal employee for a company. I was like, I want to work for myself. And, I did a couple flips, then I got my license. And so, yeah, I got into being an agent through the investing side as well. And it's really cool that you said you flew down to Texas 20 something years ago and got approved to open your own KW franchise in your region. And you're like, you were an early adopter. You're like, by today's standards, I might not qualify, but that's the benefits of, you know, taking risk and being an early adopter. So it's super cool. And you said you're in 4 states, your brokerage. What 4 states?
So we're located kind of, if you look at the map in New Hampshire, there's a little piece in New Hampshire that's on the ocean. That's where we are. So just above us is Maine, just below us is Massachusetts, and then we're in Vermont and obviously New Hampshire. We
Okay.
cover we cover a pretty big area. Like our territory stretches, you could drive from one end to the other in about 3.5 hours. So we've got a really New Hampshire only has 3 Keller Williams franchises in it. Maine only has one. We have an office in Maine, but we're not the our franchise is really based in New Hampshire.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. And then you said you're normally in like the top 10 or 15 of profitability every year?
Yep. Yeah, pretty consistently. And I think a lot of that just comes to I get to work with some of the most amazing staff. Most of my people have been with me for 10 or 15 years or more. Um, we're committed to the agents. Like we're trying to make the local experience as good as we can make it, with the help of Keller Williams, of course. But we try to do everything we can to make the agent experience the best that it can be. And
That's
that's I
great.
think the secret sauce to why we do as well as we do.
Yeah, I mean, keep your agents happy. And that's I feel like you said that's secret sauce. So that's why I love KW. It's all focused on the agents, right? So other brokerages, it's all about the brokerage and not the agents. And that's why I love Keller Williams too, is because they let the agent brand themselves however they want. For
Mhm.
instance, my team name, and I'm under KW, my team name here in Los Angeles is called Vegan Realty and powered by KW. Or if I was at other brokerages, I wouldn't be able to, brand ourselves like that. And it's so
Mhm.
funny. Everyone's like vegan realty. Like, what does that even mean? Even the vegans are like, what? Like, are the houses made of tofu and lettuce? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
But
give me a little bit of what is that vegan realty? What is that? Tell me about that.
essentially, me and my business partner, we're just both vegan. And our big thing is we donate $1,000 to animal rescues every time we help someone buy or sell a house.
That's cool.
So everyone connects with that. Like we're just real community based, and we'd rather write $1,000 check to an animal rescue than pay for Zillow or Realtor.com or Facebook leads or things like that.
Got it.
So but
Cool.
that's why I love KW because it's about the agent. They teach you. They have all the best trainings and tools and everything. You said focusing on the agents is your secret sauce for your success in your market center. Do you have any like stories that you could tell about your agents and their success stories?
Well, I think I mean there's hundreds of them. I think we've been in business for a long time, so we've got people that that come in and plug in. We've got people that were used to. I have 2 agents that were actually homeless when they started with us. They lived in their cars, and no one really knew. We kind of we suspected it kind of, but we didn't really know. They tell the story now. They came in, they plugged in, they took a chance on us, being able to train them, and now they're it's many years later. They've got investment property. They live in a house. They're one of them's married with kids. Like it's a pretty unique story. We have agents that lived in sailboats in the harbor and all year round. And here it's pretty cold. Like it's 12 degrees out right now. Um, but they've now come through that and bought investment property and houses. And I think a big part of being a leader in this company is being able to help people achieve their goals, whatever they are. Like, and for some of them, it may be I want to sell 100 houses a year, and that's great. But for others, it might be I want to sell 4, and that's great too, as long as they have a goal and we're helping them get to it. In our market, 4 houses isn't a ton of money, but it could be if it's a second job or you're a spouse that's just getting back into the workforce. It's a great extra little bit of money to pay for your vacations or help pay for kids' college or something like that. So it's really whatever goal they have is okay. We want to help them hit it. And we also want to try to, like, one of my big kind of missions is to get adult financial illiteracy fixed, because we have a lot of people that don't understand, financing and how to invest and having to have life insurance and all these things that are really important as an adult to have, in life, just to kind of take care of the things that you need as you grow old or as you have a family and those things. So I want to try to help as many of my agents get financially secure, as I can, whether that's making them have a meeting with, a business planner, a financial planner, whether it's teaching business planning clinic every couple of months here, which is what we do. whether it's getting them into their first investment property or their first house, trying to help them with that. I think those things are really important as a leader to do, because if they're more stable, then this company is more stable. And a lot of times they'll remember that we helped them do that. And sometimes they don't, but for a lot of times it's better. I'm doing it for them, not for me necessarily. But I want more of my people to be successful and financially sound, and you know live big lives, and change the world in their own way.
No, I love that, and that's probably why you're one of the top market centers. Because most brokerages, and even most agents, they don't, like you said, they don't have financial literacy, so they're literally selling homes till the day they die. They don't have any investment properties. They don't have a 401k, or they might not focus on profit share. So that's
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
profit share is a huge gift. If you go to a market center that's profitable, like we're profitable every month. A capping agent with my market center is probably worth 3 grand a year to somebody. And we have people that have 10 or 15 of those. I have people that make quite a bit in profit share every year, and their lifetime profit share is significant. Really significant. I think it's important that we embrace that, and try to pitch it. It's not the reason to come here; it's a bonus. I want you to come here and learn how to be the best agent you can be. And if you love it and you enjoy being here, you're going to tell your friends about it, and then they're going to want to be here, and then they'll enjoy being here. And if that works, then they're going to make a ton of money, and you're going to make a ton of money, and it's great for everybody. So in that respect, I think it's important that again that we deliver that experience to them, so that everybody does well.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, can you tell what profit share is, just in a very simple sentence or two or three, like not the whole.
Not the whole thing, just a real quick. Yeah. So essentially, at Keller Williams, we take the profit at the end of the month, and we take our office profit, and about 50%, a little less than 50%, goes back into the agents every month, and it's based on how you help us grow. Um, it's a voluntary program; you don't have to partake in it, but it's there for everybody, and we have agents that make hundreds of $1,000s a year, and we have agents that make $1 or less. So it's all based on how you help us grow the business. And again, we don't want you to be recruiters. We want you to love being here. And if you love being here, you'll help us grow, and that works out for us.
Definitely. And I love how you made that distinction where, the agents don't have to be recruiters. All they do is just, be an awesome agent. You naturally make connections, and then just invite other agents to events, to trainings, and then connect them with leadership.
Yeah, I mean, the more excited you are to be here, that's kind of contagious, and that gets other people excited to be here and want to be here and want to be part of your world. We're trying to always do exciting things that people want to come and visit and check out and see, and it's what makes it fun.
Awesome. Yeah. And another thing about profit share too is it's actually willable.
It is a
So,
willable asset. We have
yes,
situations where people have passed away, and their estate is getting more and more money on a regular basis because the person that they recruited is still in the business and still recruiting. So it's a pretty exciting thing for people.
definitely. From what I've learned over the years with Keller Williams is the market centers that are the most profitable are also the market centers that are in culture the most and like follow the systems and models. So I think they say like culture equals profitability and profitability equals culture. So you're doing culture at a very high level. So how are you doing the culture like that?
We're not being super creative. That's kind of the thing. Like when I opened, I thought I was smarter than the model, and it proves that I was not. And the more I got in tune with everything I was supposed to do per Gary, the better we performed, and the better we did. I mean, there's a little at our size. There's a little bit of creativity because the model sort of shifts after about 250 agents in an office, and we're at a little over 500. So there are some differences there, but yeah, I think training the important things that you're supposed to train, getting people together, being nice, being out there and friendly, and helping agents be better. I think that builds your culture. We're a bit of an event driven company. We have fair amount of events for our people to interact with and get to know the other people in the office. I think that's important. But yeah, following the model is first and foremost, and teaching to the models are also is would be the next piece of that, making
Mm,
sure that as we grew, it just got better and better, and we tried to embrace as much of the model as we could and pull as much in from family reunion and mega camp and all of the different masterminds, and try to bring that education back to the agents, and encourage participation and those sorts of things. But that's how you build the culture here, and having a staff that genuinely cares about the people. Like, our staff is really ready to go and help and build. Like, they want our agents to succeed. They're vested in their success. They care about it. So that's a really important thing for us.
love it. And you said you do a lot of events. You're very event driven. Can you give me a couple examples of maybe some training related events that you do?
So
And then
so
also,
training.
I was gonna say, also, do you do other events that are just more social and more cultural?
Yeah, so we do for training, we're running, 10 to 14 things a week. So we're running stuff every single week, different levels of training. So whether it's a mastermind or contracts, we do a contract theory class that's pretty well attended, where we go through the PNS and how to use it, manipulate it, and how to make your client win with it. And that's a big in New Hampshire and Maine, and even in Massachusetts. We end up we write our own PNSs. Attorneys don't write them, so that's how we do that. So we teach that, so the agents are really good and proficient with all of the forms. As far as other not educational events, we do a lot of things to get people together. Like, we just had a big awards night. We had, I think, 500 people at that. It was really exciting. We there's a boat called the Mount Washington that cruises around Lake Winnipesaukee. We've rented that out. We do a lobster bake. We do a summer barbecue. We do, obviously, the Red Day events. So we do Red Day, someplace different every year. We've done tailgate parties in the past. We do a chili contest. Like, we do what's called Pie Day, which is my favorite day of the year. I buy it's the day before Thanksgiving. I buy a pie for every agent and employee in the company, and then we have they come here to get them, and we have a brunch, and it's a lot of fun. Our vendors are here, and then whatever, they can either come get the pie, and if they don't come get the pie, my daughter and I and my son or my wife and a couple of agents will go out and we'll deliver the leftovers, the pies that they didn't get, to, like, different homeless shelters and churches, and the police departments, fire departments in some of the areas we serve, some of the schools, and the meals programs for the schools. So we try to get that all out. Um, I think that's really a fun day. It's probably because it's a low pressure day. People just come in, they can have breakfast, they can hang out, they can talk to people, they can grab a mimosa or Bloody Mary and grab their pie and then go to their family festivities. It's a light day, and it's just a really fun day. So I like doing that. I like doing stuff like that where we get everybody together. I think that's, getting people together right now is really important. I think there's a school of thought that having market centers where people get together is kind of a dying thing, and I disagree with that, like, vehemently. I think that's it's kind of our secret weapon. And the more that you can get together with people in a business environment that's a healthy environment for your success, I think the better your life is going to be, and I think the better the overall success in the company will be. You have a lot of the virtual companies out there, and they have their place, and they're, for some people, they're great. But I just, humans need to interact with other humans, and you can only do so much of it like this, like so much of it via Zoom, or so much of it just on the telephone and via text. Like, you have to get out there and get face to face with people and build those relationships, because nothing builds them like that. Like, no matter how proficient you are with tech, you're still, that's not as good as you and I getting together at family reunion and having a beer, getting together at family reunion, getting coffee, and just talking about all the things that are going on in our worlds. I mean, that's how you build the relationships that last a lifetime, and that's how you build a business with repeatable results that you can lean on. And I think for some of these newer companies, it's kind of lost on them a little bit, and I think Keller Williams has a strategic advantage because we have all of these locations all around the country. I think that we got get good leadership in them, and we have to get people in them that create environments that agents want to be at. I think if you can do that, you win. Whether it's your team and you're building a team of 25 or 30 people, or you're building a market center to 500 people, I think if you can make the environment such that no one wants to leave it, then no one will leave it, or very few people will leave it, because people always leave it. But um, and that's just what I think right now. That's where I think the broker model's going. Like, we're in a weird spot broker model wise. We have stiffer competition than we've ever had before as a broker. It's harder to run these than it's ever been before because of that. But I do feel like our secret weapon really is our operating um, partners in their locations, if their locations are good, and the people that they put in those positions are good. Because I think that's your opportunity right now, in my mind. The agents have the best seat on the bus, obviously. Like, they have the biggest profit with the lowest risk, and it's really good to be an agent right now if you're an agent. So if you're an agent, keep doing that. It's a really good time to be an agent.
Yeah, that's why I love KW and profit share, because I could build wealth with zero risk. So
That's it.
it's pretty cool bonus for KW agents and associates. And I 100% agree with you that you said, like meeting in person, like real life events and having a physical office, like that deepens the relationships with agents and with your community. And a lot of people are steering away from that when I think that is the secret sauce in today's day and age, especially with all the social media, online stuff, with all this tech and AI. Like, nothing beats in face to face.
Sorry about that.
So, all good. So, with that being said, what do you see the future of real estate like with, all this tech and AI and competition and new models and everything?
I think I think right now from the broker side, I think it's really we have to do is the best job we can do to make the environment, like I said, such that no one wants to leave. I think from a AI standpoint, the more we can implement that into our business, the better off we are right now. But I don't think we want to be replaced by the AI. I think we want the AI to enhance what we're doing and make us look better and be more efficient. I think if we can, implement those tools, I think we're winning. I think from an agent standpoint, I feel like all that stuff helps you communicate with your sphere of influence better. And I don't think we're any different than we were before, where you're the best realtors have amazing databases, and they communicate with them, regularly, and have uh, dialogues with them consistently. I think that's the key to sort of everything. It's the key to being a good broker, is having that communication network with your sphere of people and the agents that work for you. And I think if you're an agent or a team owner or something, I feel it's the same, but it's with your consumers and your team. So I think you have to lean into it now, and you have to learn it. And it's changing every day. And I am not a tech guy. So like it's a struggle for me, but I commit to spend a little bit of time with it every day. And I have staff and talent around me that's helping me get better at it. So over this next year, you'll see me come out with a few more things and be a little more visible on social media to try to be better at that. But it is a challenge. It's just not for me. It's not, I'm at a generation that we were taught not to brag. And then the sort of the generation that's out there now is a little bit different, because that's what they're raised to do with social media. Is like, I got to tell you everything I'm doing all the time. And that's cool. It's just different than how I came up. And I'm 50, so it's a little different for me than someone that's 20 or in their 30s. It's a completely different environment. And I think it's exciting and it's challenging. Yeah, I think as long as you adopt it and stay with it and keep a thumb on it, I think you're going to be okay. I still think the agents have the best opportunity right now. We have agents that are making millions of dollars in this company.
Mhm.
And as long as you're doing smart things with the money, I don't think that changes very much. I don't foresee a lot of downward pressure on commissions yet. The downward pressure really comes into the broker side of things, like with agents and brokers. And I think we've sort of seen the change that we've seen over the last 5 years. I think is the change. Like, I don't think we're going to see a lot of variation in operating models right now. I'm not sure if that's a question you asked, but I don't think we'll see a lot of variation in that. I
Mhm.
do think I do think commissions will be the next thing to get hit, but I don't think it's coming for a
Mm,
while. I think we still have a lot of opportunity to deliver, good value for the services we provide. And as long as you're out there doing a good job, I think it's going to be fine. I think the professional agent wins. I think if you're mailing it in as an agent, I think you're probably at risk. Um, you're showing up once. I do feel the next 5 years will be really hard to become a part time agent. I don't think that's gonna. I think that's
mm,
gonna be very very hard to exist. Like it's always been a thing where there've been part time agents, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's gonna get real hard to remain a part time agent in the next or a non real professional realtor over the next few years because I think the consumers becoming so well educated and has so many tools at their disposal that if you're not tuned in and really good at what you do, I think that they'll see through it. So I think you need to be, the best that you can be well trained, be educated, have good support,
mhm.
those sorts of things.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see AI replacing real estate agents anytime soon. I just see if agents use it properly, it enhances their business. It amplifies their message and helps them automate and systematize some things. And you said another thing too is that one thing you want to work on is social media presence, like getting more of an online presence. So how do you plan to do that? Because I also think that everyone needs to have like a really strong online presence.
Yeah, and yes, um, I'm still working on that. I don't sell real estate anymore. Like I do to like I help sell real estate now because I don't compete with my agents. I want to make sure that they're getting that business. So I want to become more of the conduit for people to call and say, "Hey, Nate, I need an agent in Hampton, New Hampshire, or I need an agent in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or Bangor, Maine, or North Carolina." Like I want people to call me and ask me who's a good person for them to use, and I want to refer to them. So I want to build my presence sort of around that. I'm a big car guy. Like I collect pre-war antique cars, and I want to work that into it. So like I buy collections of cars, or I'll go in and buy a garage out where it's full of antique car stuff, and I kind of like doing that at this kind of stage of where I'm at, and I think the more that I can kind of play with that and make that part of my real estate business and my career, I think that's kind of how I'm forming that now, and I've got a little marketing department that's helping me put some stuff together. So we'll see how it goes. It could fall flat on my face, but I think if I lean into that, that'll be good for my agents here, and it'll be good for my business and the company that's here. So I think that's the way I'm going to do it moving
Definitely.
forward.
I agree. Like tie in some of your passions with your business. And because you get passionate about it, so you're gonna post it and you're just gonna attract like-minded people and you're being true and authentic to who you are. And just, the old cars, they light you up like, it's something
They do.
fun.
They're very
So
exciting. It's a lot of fun for me.
awesome. So that's from what about from like a market center perspective, like a brokerage perspective? Like, do you think because I know a lot of team leaders and market centers are telling all their agents like, oh, you got to get online, you got to have big social media presence or online presence. But what about the market center? Do you think they also need a big online presence to attract and retain agents?
Yeah, yeah. It's tough because if you get bigger than the agent, then you're fighting with the agent, and you don't really want to be that either. But yeah, I think our presence needs to be professional and it needs to be prominent.
Hmm.
I think if we can accomplish those two things, which is hard, and a lot of that's around building our agents up. I think, but if we can do that, I think we win there too. Um, that's the reason I would be doing. I'd be building just referrals for agents. Because I think that's as an OP. I think that's probably my job now. And there's a lot of OPs that run big teams and sell themselves. I just elected not to go down that road. Um, I do, refer quite a bit of business around the country to different people, um, and that's worked out pretty good for me. But I don't feel as an OP for me that running a big team is something that I desire to do because I do feel there's some conflict there with myself and the other agents. So,
Definitely.
but I think, I think it's a great, I think owning these are great. Like it's a great business. It's been a really good business. I feel like if you can get a good one and run a good one and maybe get big, I think the secret is getting big. With our caps as being as low as they are and running a cap business model, if the office isn't big, it is tough to run. I think you need to get to 350 people minimum, and I think you need to be able to get to 500 or 1,000. I've not gotten to 1,000 yet. The highest we were pre-COVID was around 700, and that was pretty cool. A lot of work. In this correction, we've kind of planed off at middle 500s, and I think we'll get back up into the 600s. I hope by the end of this year, beginning of next year. I think. But
Perfect.
I think that's the key. If you're running a market center and it's small, you have to run super lean so you can be profitable, or you have to be on a mission to get to 300 people.
Hmm.
Because in a cap business model, people think that we're just trying to grow just for the sake of growth, and that's not really it. If we grow, it allows us to give you the economies of scales as an agent, right? We can cut our E&O down. We can staff up to make sure that the agents are getting plenty of service. We can have a Class A space. If we don't have the people paying in at those caps, we can't really do it. So I think
Definitely.
that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand our economic.
Hmm. Well, you're definitely running it at a very high level. So
Trying,
keep
man. We're trying to
going.
get better every day. We just look. Yeah, I think the key to it, though, really, and I know we're running out of time, but the key for us and the thing that we have to look up every day is how do we beat ourselves today? Like how are we better today than we were yesterday? If we can answer that question every day and make one more phone call every day, or talk to one more agent, or check on one more person, or bring one more deal in, or one more relationship. Like if we could just be better today and service the agents better today than we did yesterday, I think we win. And I think that's the key to it. And I think if you're an agent, if you can be better today than you were yesterday, I think you're going to win in that realm too.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, though, tell me a bit about your market because I'm not super familiar with the Northeast. I've never been up that way.
So we have
Uh,
less people than you,
yeah.
uh, and we have less earthquakes. We do have snow. I think it was negative 11 degrees at my house when I left this morning, and I think it was a high of like 12 today. So it's fairly cold here right now. But we have the ocean, we have Lake Winnipesaukee, we have mountains. Our mountains are a little smaller than the mountains of California, but they're still great. Uh, we're in a very stable market, so we don't get the ebbs and flows that a lot of the rest of the country gets. So everybody right now is freaking out about the market shifting. We're really not shifting a lot because we're at a housing deficit here. Like we don't have enough houses still. Um, we have about in the state of New Hampshire, there's a little over 2,000 houses that are available for sale right now in the whole state. To put that in perspective, before COVID, this company carried 1,500 every day. Like we just had 1,500 listings. So right now, the entire state has what we used to carry. But depending on the expert you talk to, New Hampshire's at about a 68,000 home deficit, meaning that's units of housing that doesn't exist. And we only build about 3,300 houses a year.
Hmm.
So we're not, and we're a move to place in the country where we have a demand that's increasing and a supply that's really not increasing, where it's not even really keeping up, and so we have our values remain pretty stable and are continuing to rise. Maine, the numbers are a little bit different. It's a bigger state, so the numbers are a little bit bigger, but it's about the same. And Massachusetts is similar. Connecticut has the lowest inventory in the country, and probably the biggest inventory problem in the country. So New England as a whole is dealing with this lack of inventory, and except for the major cities, we don't really build up. Like once you get below like New York, or you start to get into New York, that like they build skyscrapers and stuff. We don't do that here. So again, we don't have that massive inventory that a lot of places have. So it's a very stable market. It's a great market. We have multi-million-dollar lakefront or oceanfront houses, and we have trailers like everybody else. And but our average sale price is it's in the fives, I think, depending on which part of the market center you're in. But we've got pockets where it's million plus. So
Mhm.
it's a great market. It's a great place to live. Best schools, best sports teams. Really, I mean, if you're a football fan, we're doing really good right now. Again,
Yeah,
we'll be out in
definitely.
We'll be out in California soon next week. But yeah, it's a great place. It's a really cool market.
Definitely. So I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. So I was born and raised in the Midwest. Moved to California 4 years ago, and it's like 79 degrees and sunny here right now. And my mom was sending me pictures of the temperature and the snow and the ice. And I was like, yeah, that's why I moved. So I chase the sunshine now.
That's cool, man.
Yes. Well, awesome, Nathan. Thank you so much. I will add all your information in the show notes. And if anyone out there is interested in buying or selling in that area, or if you're an agent listening and you're not with KW, hit me
Come
up.
on.
I'll get you connected. And that is a wrap. Thank you so much, Nathan.
All right, man. Cheers. Take care. Thank you very much.